Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have 3 hearings in a case with a couple where mom keeps filing frivolous motions to complain about the upsetting events that she causes with her own outrageous behavior, all while trying to cause trouble between dad and the children so she can turn around and get dad in trouble with the court. Trouble is, the referee doesn't believe much of what mom says in court due to her previous lies during their divorce. Not to mention, her behavior in person has caused her to lose legal and physical custody because she cannot stop acting out in ways that alarm the children. She seems to want total control over their son's cell phone, and she claims that she has no access to the parental control apps on the one his dad gave him, so she gave her son a secret cell phone so she could communicate with him after bedtime at dad's house. She also got herself banned from attending the children's extracurricular activities by behaving badly at them, and now she's asking the court to lift that restriction to allow her to resume her attendance. Will the referee let her go to the children's activities again? Let's find out.
Both parties are present via Zoom. Ms. Van Tol is here representing the defendant, Mr. These are motions filed by the plaintiff mother. There are a couple of them, and I kind of try to deal with them in order. The first motion is really, this wants clarification of the order or exchanges when a child is sick. Is in essence what it is. Miss, that was your motion on the first one, is that correct?
That was the most recent one that I filed.
Yeah, I said that's the one, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything you want to briefly add? I mean, I'm not going to micromanage this case, but I'll let you say something if you want. This would be like saying, well, if the child's got 103 temperature, does he go with his mom? If he's got sniffles, does he go with his mom? I'm just not going to micromanage this case. So what do you want? There are times that you're supposed to pick them up. If they are not there when they're supposed to be, you file a complaint with a friend of the court for parenting time violation.
Yes, sir. I just wanted clarification that when the kids are sick, that's what we should do. There was a lot of correspondence with the defendant. It just was causing a lot of extra stress and unnecessary issues. And then,
but I'm saying I'm not going to micromanage that. There are times, and if your child's sick, I assume you know it. And this is just stuff parents have to do. I'm not going to tell you if he has 102 temperature that he doesn't have to go, or what time it is. The order's the order.
okay.
Ms. Van Tol, I don't know why you'd want to say anything on this, but you can if you want it briefly.
I don't need to weigh in, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. That was the first motion as I understand it. Was there anything else that you really wanted in that, ma'am?
In terms of sick,
that was just a request for a clear order to exchange when the minor child are sick or no school. We dealt with that one. And
yes, sir.
That's out. Okay. Then the second one is motion for to show cause and clarification. And this lists a whole bunch of things that you want me to go through. What specifically do you believe I need to show cause him on or find him in contempt of court? You listed stuff like parenting time, extracurricular activities, things like that, misuse of our family wizard, using other modes of communication like email, impersonating children on the cell phone or social media, which I don't know how you know that, taking pictures of you and speaking negatively about you. Those are some of the things you asked for and to hold him in contempt for. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir. There were 3 occasions. He showed up after school during my parenting time.
Did he interfere?
Yes, Your Honor.
In what way?
He told minor children.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to any hearsay.
I'm gonna let her just say stuff. I'm not necessarily whether it's true or not. He told the minor children, you're saying?
He told Jude not to get in the car with me or else he will be punished.
Was it a parenting time, you're saying, and he told him that, and Jude got in the car with you anyway, or what?
Yes, Jude got in the car with me. He was very upset. It affected, it's affecting his schoolwork. we have an order that we cannot be at school or extracurricular activities on the other's parenting time. He showed up 3 times after school at dismissal to pick up Jude when I've been picking him up from school for the last.
And I understand, Ms. Van Tol, didn't you say he was at the school, did not interfere? He was there to make sure that the children got picked up or something?
So, Your Honor, if you will recall, in my response, all I indicated was there was no clear definition of what pickup time would have been. Ultimately, what the court had indicated in the order was it was an evening, it was an after school in the evening or as early as 3 p.m. So Jude ended up getting out of school before 3. We've had substantial issues with Miss getting homework done. My client desired to not have Jude go straight to Miss house, so he was going to pick up. They had a whole OFW exchange related to this. It never got really resolved. All Miss did was basically ignore what Mr. Selby was asking, which was, where in the order does it say you can pick up before 3? And who is picking up because you work after 3? And so she wouldn't respond to those. So yes, he did go to the school. He did not interfere. He didn't step out of his car.
What time was he there? What time was he there?
Like 2:40 when the school releases.
Okay.
And he did not interfere with parenting time. He didn't go buy her car.
And so when was Miss there also?
I believe on every occasion, I can't really recall, Your Honor. Again, these things have been happening since the beginning of the school year, but my client stopped going to the school after basically we just said, listen, if it's going to be after school, it's going to be after school. Fine. She needs to be responsible for homework. We brought that issue before Judge Hillary. So there was no interference at all. And the order that Miss is referencing does not state what she indicates. It's the order that the judge had related to her attending extracurricular activities with the children. It has, my client was not violating that court order. I could read it into the record. It's not a violation.
All right. I don't really find that causes much problem. If she was there at 2:40, he was there at 2:40, not known for sure, didn't interfere. It's his testimony that he didn't interfere. The child went with the mother. End of story.
Yes, that's what happened.
Okay. Even though he talked to the children, talked to Jude.
Oh, but Lord, he talked to the children?
Well, the order states both parties. It's not just.
I'm telling you, he went there a couple times to make sure things went. He hasn't. When was the last time he was there?
Can you report that?
Mr.
Your Honor, it would have been mid-September to late September. I don't remember when that would be. The order does not say anything about school.
So anyway.
But the pickup is at school. She's been picking him up at school. All's well that ends well, right?
That's what's happening. I don't know that it's going well, but yes, that's what's happening.
What's your next one, ma'am?
Mr. sent me a text message from our son's phone as he was Jude, our son, telling me that I need to wear a whole shirt when I pick them up for exchanges.
What exhibit is that?
That is.
Did you do that, Miss?
Your Honor,
Not he describes.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, that was exhibit 12.
Exhibit 12. Look at this from Matt on 9/29. Hey, Jude Bug, look at this. It's finally done. I've read all these things ad nauseum. Can you show your brother too? Oh man, we aren't friends on Snapchat anymore.
That was from the defendant. And then the following one was from the defendant.
Put on a whole shirt when you pick us up at school exchanges as we are in public. Sir, did you use that phone and make those? Or Miss Van Tol, did he do that?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Your Honor. So my client did send those messages, Your Honor. The issue really is, this has been a longstanding problem. Mr. purchased a cell phone for Jude. Jude.
I'm going to interject. That has nothing to do with it.
Don't interrupt her. She did not interrupt you. Go.
I just want you to have the history here because this is why it's relevant.
I have so much history.
Judge, I understand. I don't want to be here either. I understand where you're coming from. But so the cell phone my client bought for Jude was going back and forth. Mom said, Jude's not allowed to bring this cell phone to my house anymore. Then my client said, well, then don't contact him on it. She had purchased a cell phone for Jude. My client said, don't bring it to my house. If that's what we're going to do, then the kids are going to have different cell phones at different residences. So what happened was she was continuously contacting Jude, as you can see in the exhibits, on this cell phone. My client found it when he was looking through stuff. He did message her so that she would know that he knew. There was no way that she would think that was Jude. My client really wasn't attempting to be Jude. He was trying to let her know that was happening. Obviously, as we go through this, you'll see that Sina has been working with Jude to hide the cell phone from her house and his home so she can continue to communicate with him after he's supposed to be in bed, causing him to do poorly in school. This is just a cycle of constant
he's
stuff.
asked for is the return of the phone, which I don't know why I'd return a phone that he's not even supposed to have over there in the first place.
Well, honestly, my client had no idea where this came from. The first note that he knew that this was Sina's cell phone was through this motion. She never asked him saying, hey, this is the cell phone for my house that Jude is using here. My client looked at that cell phone. Your Honor, I should let the court know there is no parental controls on there. He does have it. If the court's going to order that he provide it to Miss, and it needs to not ever come back to his home. It's not to be in his house. He can't monitor it.
I'll go to this point right now, ma'am. You provided a cell phone to Jude?
Yes, and
you sent it to his house?
No, it's Jude's.
How did it get there?
It's Jude's phone. Jude knows that if he's going to take that, which he just started taking that in September, October. This is a different cell phone though. The messages.
You provided it to him, and then you've got him hiding it at Dad's house.
No, Your Honor, that is not true. Jude is responsible. We had a conversation. If he was going to take that phone, he needed to talk to Dad about it. I am not responsible for a conversation that he chose not to have. I never told him to hide the phone. That's not appropriate. I would not do that.
Why would you give him a phone when he has a phone that Mr. had provided?
So the phone is for my parenting time. So I agree with what Ms. Van Tol says. If there is a cell phone, we should both have access to parental controls. In February of this past year, Matt would not allow me to have access to the phone from his house. So if Jude brings a phone from the defendant's house or from Matt's house to my parenting time, I should also have access to see like what apps he has, if it's my parenting time.
I'm lost here, and maybe it's me, but if Mr. provides a phone to Jude and he brings it to your house, which he does, and then you prohibited him from taking it there anymore.
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Because if it's my parenting time, I should have access to parental controls and to see what apps he has access to.
He's got the phone with him. Why can't you say, can I see your phone for a minute?
I don't know. I guess.
Why can't you ask it's like, it's not kept away from you. You know, he's got a phone. What parent doesn't just say, hey, let me see your phone. I had kids, they don't own the phone, but instead you prohibit him from bringing it.
Yes. There's also been text messages from Matt to Jude that have interfered with like family functions, and the way that they communicate, it impacts Jude. So if they're communicating in a negative way,
that you don't want him to have the phone then?
No. If I don't have access to
You're talking in circles, because you got access to the phone when Jude has the phone at your house, even though it's provided by Mr. You can take it away from him if you want. You can look at it if you want. Instead, you prohibited him from bringing it, so that I don't understand why. This is just bizarre to me, of why he wouldn't. So instead you say you can't bring it anymore. I'm going to give you a phone that you can have. And apparently he was hiding it from Mr. And you were talking to him at all hours of the night.
So we don't text on that phone. Jude will find any way to communicate with me. It doesn't have to be with a cell phone. Like, he communicates with his friends on other apps that he has access to.
This just doesn't make any sense to me. Because he had a cell phone that he could have used. One cell phone he could have used back and forth until you prohibited him from doing it.
Right. But if I don't have the same access to controls or location, it's not equitable.
You have access to controls and location when he's at your house. He's not, you got it there. You can take it from him. Mr. Sylvie has access and control when he's with him. Right?
Yes.
You're talking in circles here. He should have one phone that he could have used, but then you got to the point because you didn't, I don't know what. I don't know what you didn't like about it. You didn't want him bringing it there. Isn't that correct, Ms. Van Tol?
That's correct, Your Honor. She had kept accusing Mr. spying on her, and that was not the case. It is just, this whole thing is just.
I don't even know how he spies on you because dude's got a phone.
He doesn't. It's just paranoia.
Well, I'm asking, I don't even understand it. Jude's got the phone.
Yes, Jude has the phone. If I don't have parental control or access to anything on the phone, but Mr. does, that's not equitable.
Why don't you have any parental controls when he's at your house? You
Because
can literally take it from Jude and as punishment if you want or something. Why is it that you think and so then you decide you're going to have something and send it with him? This is crazy.
Your Honor, I never sent the phone with Jude. I am not responsible for a 14-year-old and what he takes.
Did he leave the house with the phone?
Yes, I can't check his pockets. It's not reasonable. And also
Aren't you his parent?
I say to him, if you take the phone, you have to have a conversation with
Did
Dad.
you ask him when he left, are you taking the phone?
No.
And why not? You're not the parent?
I'm not.
And this is absolute garbage. Garbage. He leaves, he goes, and you say, gee, I don't know whether or not he's got the phone or not. I don't care what he does and that kind of stuff. You know, he talks to you from his house on the phone. So how do you not know that he's got the phone?
Your Honor, because he doesn't use the phone to text or if we communicate. He could use the Xbox or a different application on his computer. Your Honor, I told him if he takes the phone, he has to have a conversation. He didn't take the phone when I got it for him back in March. That did not start happening until September.
Ms. Van Tol, anything you want to add on this?
Your Honor, I just think it is completely ridiculous that she has knowingly allowed this child to have the phone at my client's house, knowing that she said my client can have Jude can't have his cell phone from my client's house at her house. It's just bizarre. I don't understand it. All she's trying to do is create conflict. It seems to me like she is working with Jude. Jude's not a messenger here. If Sina knows that Jude's bringing that cell phone to Matt's house, it is her job to tell Matt that because they've already had this conversation where she said Matt's cell phone couldn't be at her house and Matt said then vice versa. If you're going to get him a cell phone, it's not going to be at my house. She knew that conversation happened. Jude's not the messenger. She was responsible for making sure Matt knew that that cell phone was in his house so that he could do what a parent should and monitor the use.
Absolutely. Just like if the phone was going to her house and Matt had given it to him, she could monitor that phone.
100%, but Matt didn't know the cell phone was there, so he had no idea what was going on, and that is inappropriate. And it puts him and Jude in a position to have conflict, and it is Sina's goal to have this happen.
Absolutely. And ma'am, you're giving up just saying, well, I didn't know. You know you're communicating with him. You know he had it. You know you bought it for him. You know that he was taking it there because he didn't leave it obviously at home. You didn't go so far as to say, are you taking it? Because I don't know, you don't feel that that's your responsibility, and it is. End of story. That is again something that I don't know what I don't know what to do. But you want this cell phone back, ma'am? Is that what you're saying?
That would be nice for my parenting time so that I have access to the kids.
For your parenting time. Well, it would be nice if there was one cell phone.
I agree.
And it can be Mr. allows Jude to have his phone and sends it back and forth. Because I don't know why that can't happen. If there's no reason for it. Can you give me any reason why Jude should not have one cell phone?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, no. I do not have a reason.
Ms. Van Tol, you believe Jude should have one cell phone and it can go back and forth with him?
I think that was the goal originally. I don't know what Mr. position is now. He definitely doesn't want her taking parental controls off the phone. So if she's going to be on it, I know
Understood, but she doesn't have him that long that so when he comes home, he can check and see that the parental controls are still on.
That's true. He can do that. Matt, are you
And
good
if he finds out that she's taking all parental controls off, I'm sure he will inform you, and that won't go good because there needs to be parental controls on every kid's phone.
That's correct. Yes. Okay. And Matt's fine with that. That's fine. That's what was the goal in the first place. I'm really not sure why there's two, obviously.
So what do we do with the second one? It should be not in Jude's control at any point. Should be shut off. Shut it off.
I would like an order saying that is not to go to my client's house again. This cell phone, it's again, it was secretively being done. I'm not really sure.
It is not to go to your client's house, and both, ma'am, you're going to be responsible and make sure it doesn't.
All right, I understand. I would like to address that I am blocked from that phone. So if that phone does come to my house, my number needs to be unblocked so that I can reach the children or Jude on my parenting time.
That's absolutely fine, Your Honor. That is absolutely reasonable.
All right. There's an agreement right there. The one phone should have access to everybody. All right. Settled that. What else do we need?
We didn't settle that text message that was sent to me from Jude's phone from Matt's house.
Well, what do you want for that?
That's not appropriate.
What do you want? Don't do that ever again, mister. Because now you only have one phone that's going to go back and forth. And if you contact her on Jude's phone, you better make sure that she knows it's you. There you go.
So the phone, and then also any social media apps. There's another message that that Matt used as Jude that he sent to me. So the phone and any apps that belong to Jude.
Ms. Van,
he did not try to indicate that he was Jude on that app, but that's fine. At the end of the day, again, it was because she was communicating. She knew that she wasn't supposed to be. And ultimately, again, we understand it won't happen again. It'll be an OFW message if we need to.
You can put that in the order, Ms. Van Dole.
Yep.
What else you want?
That Matt stopped taking pictures of what I'm wearing and telling the children that it's his job to report to the authorities how I dress, and that is not appropriate.
His job to report to the authorities?
Yes, so that I need to be held accountable for how I dress.
Yes. All right, Miss Van Pol, what's this?
It never happened. Here's a huge problem. So on October 13th, I believe it was the date, Miss picked up the kids. My client records as usual because he doesn't trust Miss at all. As Jude was getting out of the car, he saw my client recording her. Now he has dash cam, so this will never happen again. This is the way that we've resolved this issue. And Sina made a whole scene about it, created an entire false scenario about what happened, claimed that my client was chasing her or trying to approach her. That never happened. They were at a location where there's no cameras. My client tried to get video. They didn't have it, whatever. In any event, she then takes the kids to the police station, has Jude report falsely to the police officers what a statement my client made that he never made. And then she goes and files a false PPO on these same allegations that gets denied by the court. She claims in the police report, I know the court doesn't have it, but that my client had sent her a message at the time she was at the police station about her attire. Never happened. You will not find a single message related to that to Sina on that date at all. And so all of this is lies. She files the false police report. She involves the kid in it, Jude. Obviously, Noah is not as manipulated as Jude. Unfortunately, Sina's really got her claws into Jude, unfortunately. But she used Jude to make a false statement to the police. And that's what she's relying on to continuously report false statements to this court. It never happened. That did not happen. And it will never happen again. And Sina won't be able to claim it because now we have dash cameras and we are taking all of our exchanges at the public museum where there's a camera. So this will never occur again. So Sina cannot make these comments ever again.
All right.
Your Honor.
Yes.
These things happened. The children were upset. The children asked me, you're not going to believe me. The children asked Matt why he's always taking pictures of me. And that
You know, the
day,
children asked Matt. You weren't there.
I know, but the kids told me that he takes pictures of how I dress, but then I get that message. It just confirms that he's taking pictures of my body. He's talking about me and my body to the kids. It's not appropriate. We're raising boys. I cannot make these things up, Your Honor.
And you can make them up, and you've made up a lot of stuff to the court in the past.
I know, but things changed in August. I have no reason. I just want Matt to be held to the same standard that I am.
Matt has gone so out of the way because of all the difficulties that have clearly occurred, starting, I mean, I can go all the way to the beginning when the judgment of divorce was there, and you were supposed to provide items to Matt, and they were damaged by you when you sent them out there. We ended up not having a hearing. I can go all the way back when you said, no, I didn't damage them, but it was clear you had, all the way to the hearings that we've had and whatnot. And I don't know how you expect me to just forget everything that's going on, as well as with Judge Hillary. I've talked to Judge Hillary too. I mean, we both had this case over and over and over again. I don't know that Matt is taking pictures of you for some unknown reason, other than at parenting time exchanges, because everything is such a mess. Things do not occur the way adults should have them. All right. Just like you asking for, I got to figure out what to do if a child is sick or something, and I can't tell you how. Yes, you can make stuff up. You have made stuff up. You made stuff up to me. You made stuff up in the trial, significant stuff. You did stuff that was over and above decency with him. You lost custody because of it. Then I understand you just lost legal custody. You can come back maybe, but this doesn't show that you guys are going to ever get along. This is obviously a negative towards you ever getting legal custody. And some of these things like the phone and stuff that are just outrageous. They're outrageous to the point where you can't even justify them. And I don't understand what you think. I really don't. He needs to get a dash cam to prevent things happening, and needs to do that at a location where there are cameras and everything. And I do believe he needs it. And he's going to pay for all that because he needs it, because you are always trying to push the envelope.
Your Honor, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I am not making up excuses. It's all there in OFW. The way that we communicate, it's not working. The issue.
You guys should hardly ever communicate. You got two kids. He's got the time with them most of the time, and
Right.
and he has legal custody and everything like that. But you're always communicating, and it's you as much as him communicating. Many times you're sending him stuff and he's answering it and all this kind of stuff. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how else to say it other than there have been so many things that you have accused them of and done in the past. And I think Mr. has had his fill of it and is starting to fight back, and maybe not always completely appropriate, but I understand why. And I mean, just like coming in, I don't know what you want. He has to follow the court order. You have to follow the court order. If there's problems with parenting time, you file a complaint with a friend of the court. They'll investigate it. If there's a possibility that there is a violation, it'll end up in front of me on a contempt of court hearing. As far as some of this other stuff, I am very concerned of you using Jude to try and get some things you want. And I have a tendency to believe Mr. more than you when it comes to, you're talking to him all night and this kind of stuff. And I'm not even, I kind of think you probably had that phone for him, knew it was there and knew that you were using it late at night and stuff like that. That's my opinion just from years on this case.
Right. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that I document these things.
Well, you can document, you documented other false stuff. You document them by saying what? You went to the police station. I don't know if that ever occurred. I don't see a police report or anything like that. You can go to the police and say, he chased me because he took 2 steps in your direction, and make up something that's really big. There was something in here that bothered me in your motion when you said something, in one of them, you start out with something about sexual things and stuff like that, completely irrelevant, just your desire to whack Mr. if you can. It's clear that you will do anything to get at Mr. And that makes, when you ask for a PPO, people take a second look, because it is clear that you will do anything to get at him. No matter what. You go to the police and say, he chased me. Do you have any evidence of that? No. Just your word. I don't know what else to tell you. What else do you want the court to look at? Oh, I will tell you one thing. I know one thing you asked for, and I think it's appropriate. You asked for some medical insurance information for the kids. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Van Tol, the bottom line is that the kids are covered by Dad, and I understand that he has sole legal, but there is the possibility that the kids could get suddenly injured in her care, and she takes them somewhere right away for it. I don't know why she wouldn't have a medical card for the kids. She does have time with the kids.
I don't know what Mr. wanted to report, but I would indicate that we're just worried about her violating the court orders. Again, taking him to providers she should not be taking him to. She obviously hasn't followed a court order.
Well,
really.
I'll tell you right now, she doesn't have legal custody, so she can't be just setting up appointments with the kids. All it would be for is emergency.
No, I understand that. I want Ms. to understand that and not violate it.
Well, and you can put that in the order, because I don't think Mr. It's just as a backup, is she does have the kids on a weekend and stuff like this. If they were to be injured and she took them in, she might not be able to get in touch with you. I'm not saying you're sitting there watching your phone every minute of every day. You could be taking a shower or something. She takes them in. It would be nice for her to have medical information for the kids, but she cannot use it for setting up appointments, things like that, because she doesn't have legal custody.
May I say something, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
I asked several times through that chain of emails, just why did she need it? I didn't say she couldn't have it. I just wanted to know why.
I understand, and
I don't mind giving it to her. But that was the very thing. I don't have any idea. If I send the kids to grandparents for the weekend, I don't give them medical insurance and stuff like that.
that's right.
It was just a point of, why would you need it? Just let me know. And there was always just a roadblock, a wall in front of it saying, because I want it. It's my legal right to have it, that sort of thing. I just wanted to know why.
Or Mr. So I'm to the third one here, Miss Van Tol.
Yes.
Do you see any reason? I mean, I understand that. I mean, if you send the kids to the neighbor's house and something happens, they don't have the medical information. But the bottom line is, Miss does have regular parenting time and is a parent. Okay. I'm not asking you to give the grandparents and stuff. I just think it's appropriate. Can you think of any reason, Miss Van Tol, not to give a card? But you can put in the order, it is not to be used for anything other than emergencies. Ma'am, you do not have legal custody. You cannot make appointments for kids for orthodontics or for you can't sign them up for extracurricular activities. You can't do that. You do not have that ability at this time. The only thing is for an emergency. The odds of you ever using that card are just about zero. But I don't have a problem in case something happens while on your watch. And you can believe me when I say, if something happens on your watch and you are abusing the situation somehow, it will not go good for you.
I understand.
I hope so. Mr. or Miss Van Tol, you want to put that in?
Yeah, so I will indicate cell phones to be returned, not to go to the client's house. There's no communication as the kids on any apps or texting. No extracurricular activities. She can't sign up for extracurricular activities. He'll give her the health insurance card, but she can't change providers. She can't set up appointments. She can't start new providers, and it's for emergency and urgency care only.
No, I mean, I suppose she could go to her work and try and set up some providers if she wanted, but Mr. doesn't have to follow them at all.
Well, right. She's not allowed to just take them to, this is what we foresee, right? Miss
Not allowed to take them to,
Yes.
you know, hey, I want you to go to this doctor and I want you to take a look at him for all this kind of stuff and that.
Yes.
You know, and see if he's abusing him and stuff like that. No. And if that comes up like that, that will be, I will stop your parenting time and give you 1 hour a week at Journeys, which is not real far away. All right. If I find out anything like that, you know, if you come in here and say, well, Jude came and told me that his dad beat him, and so I took him to emergency to do this kind of stuff, and if there's not something that is really right out in front, I will probably reduce your parenting time to Journeys 1 hour a week supervised. And Miss Van Tol can always get a copy of this on the record and beat me with it if it happens. Anything else, ma'am?
Your Honor, I do have a question about, Matt has concerns about me impacting his relationship with the kids. It's my understanding that they have been pulled from counseling. We had an order.
You can pull him. He's got full legal.
Okay. All right. I just want to make it aware that
You can, if you want to file some kind of a motion to get him in counseling, you can, but I'm going to probably say he's got full legal.
Okay, we did have an order that said if there were any changes made to counseling, that there would be a motion filed to have them taken out of counseling.
Is specifically referring to?
Yeah, it was prior to her losing joint legal custody, Your Honor, and ultimately there was no benefit to counseling because Jude wasn't talking to the counselor. So my client made this decision for a reason, and it was with the counselor's assessment. So again, it was after she lost legal custody that he made this modification. He had talked to the provider. It wasn't benefiting anybody because Jude wasn't opening up related to the issues, is my understanding. And Noah's doing well, so he's not needing counseling at all.
All right. Anything else?
No,
I'd
sir.
like to get rid of it all right now because
I asked for fees, Your Honor, for having to be here today again on these long motions that are rambling. And for the most part, she did not come up with a single contempt issue. She was just ranting. And again, all she's trying to do is file these pleadings with the court to disparage Matt in a public file as much as possible and to provide her false narrative as much as possible. This is becoming very daunting. Matt has had to be hyper vigilant in all ways because of these continuous allegations and these motions. And he's the only one with an attorney right now, and he has to continue to keep fighting this and defending this with Miss. And again, these are largely false statements, and they just need to stop. And I don't know how else to deter him for doing it.
Well, I'll tell you, they do need to stop. Any legitimate claim can be filed, but if I'm probably not going to order it this time, but I'm going to tell you this: any more files like this that come up that you don't have something really significant for me to rule on, I'm going to order actual attorney's fees for it. I'm telling you that this is. Yes, I've heard this stuff for so long and so many times, and so many of them are false, and all of this. This was your one shot to go after Matt to prove that he was an awful guy again. It didn't work. I'm not going to listen to these anymore. I'm just not. But if you have something that is legitimate, like I'm going to use the example of some part in here I read because he had told Jude he was going to have to walk to school in the rain. Okay. He's the dad. All right. You're not going to micromanage his parenting time with Jude. If he is something way off base, way off base and is doing something really detrimental, that's one thing. But dad saying, you know, yeah, if you're not going to get up, you're going to walk to school. You know what? I'd do the same thing. And I don't care what you're going to say to me. You're becoming a helicopter mom to try and say, oh, your dad's doing the wrong thing. Oh, poor you. I'm going to do this. Not going to work, ma'am. It's not going to work. I'm telling you. He's the dad. You've managed to lose physical and legal custody in a couple of years here, something that very few people have ever done. And yeah, you're not going to micromanage dad's things that he does, that he grounds him, that he takes a phone, that he does this, that he does that. You've lost that ability. So, Ms. Van Tol, I understand your request, but you can. I'm not going to do it this time, but further things are either going to have really significant evidence, or I'm going to give you actual attorney's fees. So if there are other motions, you got to keep absolute track of time and stuff like that, because I'll give you actual attorney's fees as long as they're reasonable.
Sounds good.
As long as they abide by the court rules and stuff like that.
And they do. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Anything else from either party?
No, Your Honor, I appreciate the court's time this morning. Thank you for hearing it out.
Anything else?
No, but thank you for listening today.
Good luck, everybody. Thank you. Have a nice holiday.
Have a great holiday. Thank you.
All right, everybody can hear me. We're here in the matter of 19-6811 DM. Both parties are present, as well as Ms. Van Tol, who represents Mr. This is plaintiff mother's motion for one uninterrupted week of parenting time, as well as change some exchange times. She also has a motion regarding cell phone for Jude, what I understand. I've read your request, ma'am, and I've also read the response. Is there anything else you wish to briefly add, Miss?
Yes, I submitted some more exhibits to support.
Yeah, that was after, I doubt Miss Van Tol got appropriate notice of them.
I didn't receive them till Wednesday night, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yeah, but go ahead. What else, ma'am?
All right. In terms of changing the exchange time, I'm not asking for anything unreasonable, just
But
more time.
you don't have any reason that the court should just suddenly start extending time. I mean, there's no shade, there's no Vadvarka. I mean, you can come in and fine, you know, you can ask for more, but I don't have any real reason to change those. You just want more time. And they oppose it. I mean, why am I supposed to modify that with, there's no proper cause or change of circumstance, even as it relates to the lesser case of shade?
Okay.
Well, I'm just asking you, do you have any? You just want more time. You want like Wednesdays from noon till 8, but most of the time the kids will be in school during that time anyhow.
Right.
Then, you know, you want to extend Mondays till 8 o'clock. I mean, I know you want more time, but there's nothing that you have pled that would indicate something that the court should review that. And so I'm inclined to deny it, because there's nothing other than you just coming in and saying, I want these times.
Right. I don't work in the summer. We engage in meaningful activities. It makes more sense for them to be with their mom than home alone in the summer.
All right.
So
Well,
I'm also
I don't find any findings under shade or whatever to modify the parenting time at this point, and would deny that. What else do you want with that? Do you want?
I was asking for a week of vacation to go visit with my sister. She's having her first baby. We'd like
Where's
to
your
go
sister
visit.
live?
She's in Connecticut. She moved about a year and a half ago. 2 years ago.
All right. Well, Ms. Van Tol, that's probably the most reasonable of the requests that I have today for a short trip out to Connecticut. Can you tell me a reason? This is actually be a one-time deal. Ms. Van Tol.
Yes, thank you. Your Honor, the issue with the week of extended parenting time is that Miss has been absolutely toxic and continues her toxic behavior throughout this case. And ultimately, the week she requested within the pleading, and I didn't notice this until just now, actually encompasses my client's weekend. So really what she's asking for is she's going to take the kids Friday all the way to a week later Monday.
No, that wouldn't occur. If she gets
Right.
any time at all, it would not, it would only include her weekend and would not include his. Tell me right now.
Right. And the week that she asked for is the week that worked for their schedule for Jude to take driver's ed, which she's taking. I know Miss within some documents said that my client did this intentionally. It was not intentional. It was what was offered, what was available for Jude based on the schedule that they had available. And my client could ensure he was able to get there. So he would object to the week of vacation simply because of just how just absolutely toxic scene has been. Unfortunately, as this court knows, we've been here several times because of her failure to follow court orders, her failure to co-parent effectively. She's lost legal custody since the parenting time and custody change.
You don't tell me that. I know all about this case, and I do know that I believe there's a contempt hearing that has been completed that may actually result in her incarceration because of the numerous contempt proceedings.
Right. We didn't ask for her to be incarcerated, Your Honor. Unfortunately, what Sina's done is she's really weaponizing the fact that my client's filing these show causes with the kids. So my client really asked for a delayed sentence. So basically, if Sina violated in the future, then she would go to jail. My client, again, does not want to alienate himself from his children because Sina is very good at that, as the court sees in Exhibit 1 to my pleadings. But at the end of the day, my client is concerned about her having a full week. If she's going to have a week, my client should have a week. He doesn't ever get a week of extended time with the kids because of her parenting time schedule. So those are really our concerns with respect to that request. And I would ask that if the court is going to entertain it, like the court indicated, it would be a one-time deal and not more than this.
Well, it would be a one-time deal. And if there would be a better week, because I don't want to interfere with his driver's ed. I know what kids are like with driver's ed and stuff like that. If it's the week before or the week after, something like that. I don't know. Is there a better time?
It would really kind of have to either be the week before. The kids start school in Comstock Park on the 19th. So based on the week she requested, which I believe is the first full week of August, that doesn't really leave much more time. And because that is that piggybacks off of her weekend, she wouldn't be able to take that extended time. So basically, if she wanted a week, she would have to start the week prior. And go to the Monday her parenting time ended. And
when
then
do you want to go out there, ma'am? You have tickets or what?
No tickets yet, but Your Honor, in terms of the driver's ed, Jude was signed up. There was no discussion, and he was registered after.
He doesn't have to discuss it with you. You don't have joint legal custody anymore. You lost that by your actions.
Okay, I understand. So she is due on August 2nd. We really can't go early. And
you don't even know she'll have a baby on August 2nd. She could be, what if she's 10 days late?
Well, doctors don't typically let you go past your due date.
Well, I'm sorry, but I know many kids who were born late, so that's not true.
I could get a doctor's note from her to support that she won't go past her due date. School starts the 19th.
I take them out there for an extended weekend. You have Fridays through till Monday morning. Why can't you, Miss Van Tol, let her take a Thursday or something, or Wednesday through, or, through the weekend and stuff like that, the weekend that she has, and it'd only extend a day or two. Is that acceptable?
Can I interject? I'm sorry. Noah has camp that he's been registered for the week prior, leading up to the Friday of her weekend.
So
He's going to be a sleepaway camp for that week prior.
Matt, what about, and again, sorry, Your Honor, this hasn't been discussed with my client, so I want to just talk with him about this really quick.
Right.
Her weekend would be the 15th through the 19th.
Let me ask
the 16th.
this, all right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna deny the request, but ask that you see if you can find a time, maybe a couple extra days or something for the kids to go out there. It would not be inappropriate for the kids to go. I'm just trying to say, hey, kids, you get to go to Connecticut and this kind of stuff. You admitted that they have a relationship with the aunt and things like that. If you can do that and add a day or two, do that. All right, Ms. Van Tol. I'm going to deny the request basically on a lot of what you have said. I know that Ms. Just constantly is before the court for violating court orders and stuff like that. And it's not necessarily appropriate to give her a whole bunch of time for her to continue to do what she's done. I mean, she's lost custody. This is nobody else in my 8.5 years has lost and done this kind of stuff. No mother has gone through this, but she constantly sets herself up for failure and constantly gets in front of the judge for it and constantly is fined for it and things like that. I don't understand, but I will deny it. I'm just going to ask you, Mr. and Miss Van Tol, to consider letting the kids go for the extended weekend or something. Maybe they go on Wednesday and come back on Monday, or Thursday and come back on Monday. If that's good, I'm not going to order it though. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, Your Honor. Can I just have a little, again, because of the way CINA deals with these orders, I just want to be clear. If my client provides her this additional time, would he receive some makeup time for that?
I'm not even as concerned about that, but I do want an order entered if you agree to something before she goes,
Sure.
so that there is a court order.
Right.
So I'm not going to take the chance it doesn't come back or something.
And then, Your Honor, I just, again, I'm not trying to belabor this, but because of the way that CINA has been pretending to be ignorant of these orders, we have issues with her picking Jude up early from school just very recently. The order specifically indicates that she can pick the children up from after school or as early as 3 p.m. She picked Jude up without communicating with my client during a half day. He does not want to continue to keep doing this. And then he had Noah until much later because Noah wasn't out of school.
Orders are the orders. I'm not going to modify them at this point.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to get into 15 minutes here and there. The order is the order and has to be followed. All right. And I'm not going to mess around with orders, ma'am, because you mess around with them enough on your own and find yourself in trouble. And the order is the order of the court. It's the one that I will, and Judge Hillary will enforce. All right.
All right. I have
the other request is for access to a cell phone and this kind of stuff. You give the example of your son being at AJ's and not being able to contact them or whatever.
Yes.
Doesn't his phone ring? Doesn't he have a text ability?
Yes.
Why didn't you call him when he wasn't at AJ's or something like that? Why do you need all this other stuff?
Well, I need consistent access to his location, the same access that Matt does on his.
Why do you need access to his location? Call him. He's not there. Where are you? Text him. I'm on my way to pick you up. Where are you? I mean.
Yes, we did do that.
All right.
My case is that I shouldn't have to rely on Matt during my parenting time. Let's say Jude doesn't have access to his phone. Like he can't call or he's not answering his phone like a teenager. I should be able.
He's with you at the time that you're complaining about it. And if he doesn't have his phone, you'd know about it.
Right. So if he does have his phone, and he's not answering, like a teenager maybe doesn't answer his phone.
I don't answer all my calls and you don't get a chance to know where I am and stuff like that.
But-
Mr. gets to set the parental controls. And the phone is just the phone that will remain as the phone is. If you want to work with Mr. for something, but I'm not going to change any. We had a whole hearing on this because you basically abused cell phones by giving him one that he was not supposed, he was hiding it and all this kind of stuff. He's got one phone. That phone will be available for phone calls, for text, whatever else that Mr. gets to do the, what I want to say, parental controls and stuff, but it comes over to your house, you'll know what the parental controls are on it.
I don't know. I don't have access, Your Honor.
You got the phone.
But I don't have access to his location. So on my own parent, it impedes my ability to
It
maintain
doesn't impede your ability any more than, what about when my kids were growing up? I never had access to them because they didn't even have a phone. They had no phone. They were too young. You call him and ask him where he is. If he doesn't respect you enough to answer the phone, then work with it. I'm not going to change anything on the phone.
So if Jude and I have another app that we use so I can consistently access his location. Matt, on my parenting time, has the authority to change the parental controls with app access.
You've abused so much stuff from the court and orders that the court have provided over the years and have consistently gone against them. I'm not comfortable giving you any more access. You can call your son, you can text your son, you can do that. That's what parents do, and that's what you'll be allowed to do. He is not allowed to prevent you from having Jude have access to the phone so that you can call and text. That's the order. I'm not going to grant your other shared access to other stuff during parenting times. Anything else?
Oh, yes, sir. I just want to make sure I understand. So
I'm denying your motions. There's not much else to explain.
all right.
Ms. Van Tol, you can draft the order. Thank you very much. We're adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor. I did ask for fees. Is the court
Uh,
at all going to entertain a fee request?
um,
I'm asking for $750 for today.
Not at this time. No, I'm not gonna grant fees. She's got problems, up at the order to show cause hearing that you got. I'll remind me if another motion similar to this comes up. They're not frivolous motions at this point. I don't find them to be frivolous. I'm just denying them. Just because I deny them doesn't mean they're frivolous. And so I'm being kind and no at this point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We're adjourned. All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We're here in case 19-6811 DM. Both parties are present, as well as Miss Van Tol, who represents Mr. This is a motion by Ms. basically to review a provision in the judgment that found her guilty of contempt of court. And the provision that was in there basically says that she can have no contact at the events, the kids' events, if you will. I'm trying to find the judge's wording, but no contact, but it could be reviewed anytime after October 24. Ms. Van Tol this was order following contempt proceedings that was entered June 24 of 2024. The provision that she is asking says plaintiff shall not attend any events or activities for the minor children. Plaintiff may request a review of this provision on or around October 24, 2024. If plaintiff prevails in having this complete restriction removed, the current parenting time order of March 16, 2022 shall be resumed unless this court orders an amendment to the same. She is seeking an amendment as well as a couple of other miscellaneous things on it. Ms. Van Tol, I'm just I didn't get a response from you. I'm not saying anything about it. I just want to make sure that I didn't miss it. Did I?
Yeah, I sent it last week, Friday.
Was it emailed?
Was it
It
emailed or
should
what?
have been by Lisa. And it would have been mailed as well. So
Well,
but
we'll
it was
proceed.
submitted Friday. I think. I believe so. Let me
Well,
just
let me ask you, do you
Yeah.
object to her request to dismiss that provision?
I do. Yes.
All right, we'll get into it. This is the last motion of the day, so I've got time.
Okay. Sounds
All
great.
right. Ma'am, I've read your request and your statements in here about all kinds of things that he does that's wrong. Do you wish to supplement? What do you have to say about this?
Well, about the provision, I have complied with the directives to not go to anything for the boys. So that's the first thing I'm asking for, is to have that removed so that I can resume going to things on my parenting time for the kids. So that's the first one.
Well then what's has complied with all? I'm unsure of what all the rest of this then is about.
Well, that was just the first. So then we are having behavior problems with the kids. Mr. has been talking about mental health disorders, telling Jude that he has these mental problems and that he needs help, but it's not backed by anything from a doctor.
Okay, I understand that's another request, but what does all of this have to do with it about like picking up from school? And I mean, you're throwing in all kinds of stuff that is statements like the October 9th parenting time. Did you get the kids on October 9th at 11:30 or did you get them at 3 o'clock?
I got them at dismissal.
Okay, so at 11:30 or whatever that was.
Yes, at
Well,
dismissal.
what is the
but
purpose of all of this in here about, you went through these things back and forth and you got it, but somehow it falls on him as being negative for something.
the purpose is to show that the kids are stressed out, their behavior problems are increasing.
It shows to me that you're stressing them out.
How can you explain that?
I don't even, I mean, we go through this whole thing here and it's between you and him and you contact Miss Van Tol and everything, and it gets worked out. Why are the kids even involved with it? Why are you saying at some point and adding that he would deal with her later, which left Noah frightened? Why are you even talking to Noah about it?
I'm not. I can't even contact the kids.
Well, then why do you put in there, deal with mom later, if you don't even know that it came from Noah, according to you?
Right, when I picked him up.
Okay, why does he even have anything to do with it? You picked him up at the time you wanted to.
Yes, sir. That's the first thing he said when he got in the car. I am trying to show.
I don't believe that.
At some point,
ma'am, you do not have the world's best credibility in the court. You've lied to the court starting back in the trial, starting back even before that, when you wouldn't agree with the judgment that you agreed to and then sent out stuff that was damaged. And I mean, it's all come out. You have abused the court numerous times with not being truthful.
Okay, I understand. But at some point, someone will have to talk to the children, right?
About what?
They are stressed out. There is no reason that
you are
Mr.
stressing them out with all these things.
It's not, so they're not supposed to talk to me?
I didn't say they're not supposed to talk to you. I believe you are seeking from them such things as, you're stressed out because of What, because dad said he's gonna do something to me afterwards? Dad, if he even said that, he'd deal with her later. Fine, kids, you're gonna go at 11:30. I'll deal with your mom later. Who cares?
Okay, I just wanted to understand your point that you are okay with that sort of behavior to the kid.
What sort of
Dad-
behavior to the kids?
That that Matt would say that to the kids about
Man,
their mom.
You really don't get it. The other thing in here is you start talking about Mr. Sylvie is trying to change, how do you say it? Demands the Comstock Park overhaul their dismissal procedure to include ID checks, post-school hours, and an expectation driven by his personal vendetta against Sina and his desire to exert control over her. I read through the things that he said, and all he's saying is, why is the school sending the kids to somebody who they barely know at most and isn't on the pickup list? And somehow you want your kids to get into a car that they don't know who they're with? Is that what I hear?
That's what you read.
That's what I read in here that he wrote to you, but somehow you try to turn that around and make it something that's awful that he's done. I don't even understand where you're coming from.
Sir, in the messages, the children know who this person is, but why does
Is that person, who is the person?
she's a family friend of ours from the YMCA.
And the kids spend a lot of time with her?
In the summer,
I mean,
graduation open house.
all I know is that they don't even know her last name. Absolutely inappropriate. You don't want your kids getting in a car with strangers, right? Is that
She's
true?
not a stranger.
Answer my question. You don't want them getting in a car with strangers, right?
Oh,
And aren't they supposed to get into cars with approved individuals?
yes, they are approved by me. It's my parenting time. They're not getting picked up during school hours, sir. It's after dismissal.
How is it okay telling Noah to get in a car with someone he doesn't know very well? This is a very bad idea, and I think I should tell the school to make sure Noah gets, doesn't get picked into a car with anyone that he is not on the approval list. Man, it seems like a reasonable request.
Your Honor, it's not, because it's dismissal. It's not during school hours.
So you send anybody at dismissal, whether they know him or not, and that's a good thing. You want him to get in, so he should send somebody that says, hey, I know you don't know my kids, but go pick them up from school.
That does not make any sense, Your Honor.
Yeah, it does. You don't make any sense. I'm
Okay.
just telling you. Why is it that everything that is done comes back on him as you're the one who's violated court orders. You're the one who's been held in contempt.
Okay, so just so I understand, Matt can put whatever he wants into an Our Family Wizard message, and that is just what it is.
You submitted it to me. They didn't.
I know, Your Honor. I'm turning things in to show, like, that doesn't make sense. Everything is a problem for him. He is the one that brings.
Everything is a problem for you.
I am not the one that brings the kids into things.
Into what?
Noah being frightened, or
he would have Noah would have no reason or any thought of being frightened, just because if it works out and he says, go ahead, kids, you're going to go to your mom's at 11:30. I'll deal with your mom later. He'd have no reason to be frightened about that unless you make it a big deal.
Then that sounds like a conversation that someone should have with him or with the kid.
What?
You're saying that he has no reason to be frightened. That was a feeling.
Not unless you put him up to it.
He ran to my car, and that's what he said. He was worried. Okay, fine.
Did something happen to you as a result of that?
No, that's the first thing he said to me. How is that not a problem?
I find I'll listen to what you say, but I don't find it to be credible. I don't think your
I
kid
understand.
ran at 11:30 and said, Mommy, I'm worried because Daddy's gonna do something to you because I'm here.
That's not what he said.
All right, Mommy, I'll read what he said. According to you, what he said. It's in your motion. You want me to read it to you, or do you know what he said?
But if you would like to, you can, or I can turn to it. And he doesn't call me mommy.
All right, adding that he would deal with her. It says on the morning of Wednesday, the 9th, Matthew instructed Noah to go home with Cena, ominously adding that he would deal with her later, which left Noah frightened. You didn't say he ran to the car and, oh, Mommy, he's going to deal with you later. Mom, Cena, I don't care what he calls you. Go ahead. I don't find that after the kid's been in school all day and is now released to you, that he's terrified or frightened that something bad is going to happen to you, because stuff hasn't happened to you. I mean, he has no reason to believe that Dad's going to show up and beat you up again, Mom. No, he hasn't done it before, so he has no reason to do that. You're just making mountains out of molehills.
All right, understood. This is just creating more problems when they become adults.
Yes, it is. And you started it.
I don't.
And you have been held in contempt of court because you can't act the way the court directs you to. You give the kids that message. You give the kids that message.
I don't get to talk to them.
You give the kids the message. You can't abide by court orders. Okay? You don't think that you do have to.
How?
Because you were held in contempt for violating it. And you said you didn't, but the judge clearly held you in contempt, charged you some $4,000, which was to be paid last month. I hope it was, because otherwise you'll be back in court again.
It was paid, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. I know you don't blame yourself for anything, ma'am. Never have. I know that you put on stuff about this wonderful guy you were married to, and oh, all these poor things that happened. And it was clearly lies. Clearly.
Okay. Understood.
And since then, you come back and do some of this stuff that I don't know what. It's always Mr. fault. He's doing the best he can to raise the kids, following court orders the best he can, and no matter what happens, even when he gives you what you want, you find it to be, oh, the kids are suffering from it. All you had to do, if he has said something, Dad's going to deal with you later, you say, oh, that's nothing. Don't worry about it. That's between your dad and I. I'm not worried about it.
That's what I did, but the court needs to know that these things are happening. And I tried to resolve it with Miss Van Tall, and Mr. couldn't let it go. So like the day before I picked them up, I get to talk to Jude on the phone. He doesn't want me to pick him up from school because he is afraid that he's going to get in trouble for going home with me.
Did Mr. ultimately say, okay, you can pick him up from school?
To Noah, yes. But I'm saying Jude was so stressed out that he didn't want me to pick him up. And I said, that's fine. That's fine.
Just on this issue, do you have anything you wish to add, Ms. Van Tol, just on this issue?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. I just want to impress upon the court that this is not accurate. Again, Ms. comes in here all the time making false statements. She attached documents that don't support her claims. The issue in this case was my client was attempting to work out the issue with Ms. in advance. Ms. kept telling the kids, I'm picking you up, I'm picking you up, I'm picking you up. So Mr. did not contradict that statement to the children because he did not want them to be in the middle. So when asked, my client indicated, do not get on the bus. You can go with your mom or whomever she sends. That was the statement that was made. That was the appropriate statement. I am asking that the court set a time because this is continuously an issue. Miss is not available until 3:30. My client's happy to say 2:30, which is dismissal from school on a normal day, if that's what it needs to happen to avoid these continued conversations. But the wording in the order currently is problematic since it says after school or as early as 3. And again, just to avoid any further discussion on the matter, my client's fine with the 2:30 time. He just doesn't want to have any more communication regarding this issue, and he does not want Miss to continue to put them in the middle.
The kids are dismissed from school at 2:30,
Yeah, about that time, Your Honor, yes.
and she gets them from dismissal.
Right. The issue is that she's trying to get them on half days. They're spending time with these people they don't know because she doesn't have half days on the same day. And I understand she says, yeah, they're people that they've hung out with occasionally. They're not really people that they know well. So again, he just wants a time and that's it.
Oh,
And if the
But
court
it's
says
only on Wednesdays, right?
it's Wednesdays and her Fridays, I believe. Or just Wednesdays, I guess. Mr.
Wednesdays, and
shaking his head.
How many Wednesdays the whole school year does this apply? I don't.
Every single one.
It's not worth doing anything. If she gets them at 11:30 because they went to school and they had a half a day, we've already kind of resolved that issue. I'm not gonna micromanage days, all right?
So just again, to be clear, if the court's saying dismissal, the court's saying dismissal, I will put that in the order. But again, I find Miss is not an appropriate parent. I'm very concerned about what she's doing with these kids. I attached, because the court doesn't have my response, and I apologize. Miss Dewey said she got it, but there's text messages that Miss is seriously snapshotting OFW messages and sending them to Jude. She does this all the time. She undermines him constantly. It is a problem. It's a problem.
Have you filed a motion to?
I'm going to. Yes, I have to. This cannot continue. And this just happened in October. My client cannot keep funding all of these issues because he is waiting to get reimbursed until Messina pays me, which is always, 3 months later. It's a lot of money that we're expending on continuous litigation with Miss because she can't follow a court order.
But you did get paid for the contempt one.
I did in September, yes. And then my client got reimbursed, yes. But it's a lot of upfront funds.
I understand, and I can't, I'll deal with it when it's in front of me. Did you file, you filed an answer, okay? You didn't file a motion, so I can't really grant some of the stuff you're asking for because it's an answer versus a motion, okay? But, Miss, when are you gonna pick up the kids from school? At 2:30 or what?
Dismissal. So if dismissal is 2:30 for Noah and 2:40 for Jude, they are going to be picked up at 2:30 and 2:40.
All right. And are you gonna pick them up?
Unless I have a conference or an IEP. Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. I will pick them up.
You will pick them up. And if you do not pick them up, you will notify in advance Mr. of who it will be, their full name. All right.
Yes, sir.
So that they can even check to make sure this person has a driver's license, because before he didn't, and you were having kids driven around by somebody who didn't even have a license. You make sure that they're appropriate. And however, basically 99% of the time, you will pick them up at dismissal. Do you have any problem with that, Ms. Van Poel?
No.
All right. You can enter that in the order.
Okay.
What else, Miss Sylvie?
I'm asking for, so Mr. and I have tried to work out an extended weekend so the boys and I can go visit my sister in Connecticut. I'm just asking for 46 extra hours of parenting time over Christmas break. There's no school interference.
Let me get to that in just 1 minute. All right, I understand that one. Ms. Van Tol, if I adjourn now, Miss Sylvia, I haven't ruled on whether or not you still get to see the kids, because it's October 24 is when I would review that. Ms. Van Tol, can you tell me your response. I'm sorry, I do have it and can have it printed out, but you might as well tell me here right now.
Right.
Sorry.
So the issue was she filed a motion because her sister was having a baby, right? So she wanted to go out and see the baby at the time it was born. So she filed this motion in the summer. It ended up being in conflict with the kid's school, and it ended up being a conflict with Jude's driver's training that was prearranged well before we knew this request was going to be made by Ms. So the issue is she's made false claims to this court like they never see their aunt. Their aunt's coming into town. She has a week over Christmas break. She can do what she wants to do during her time. She doesn't need an extended weekend to see her sister. And again, I am deeply concerned with what she's doing in trying to alienate, especially the oldest child, regarding Mr. And again, I apologize you don't have the text messages, but it's super clear. She wants to be a friend to a teenager and make my client look like the enemy because it suits her narrative. It suits her goal of making Mr. C a bad guy to anybody she can, and it's not reality. So I do have an objection. My client does object to her having the extra time. She can see she can spend the time over Christmas break. That is absolutely her choice.
Yeah, when's your sister coming in town?
She's coming in for Thanksgiving, but I don't have the boys that weekend. So I asked to switch Thanksgivings this year for next year. Mr. said no. But the whole point is like for the boys and I to spend time together with my sister and the baby. It'd be nice if they could see her.
They see her every holiday that she's in. I mean, she's around every holiday that the children are spending time with Miss Sina or Miss, excuse me.
So they do see her.
They do see her. They spent a whole week out there in 2022. They spent last holidays with her. I mean, this is normal that she's around.
I'm sorry, what
Obviously,
holidays?
grandparents want. Let me just verify my response really quick before I say something that is inaccurate because I had Mr. Sylvie
baby
respond, and she's coming to town. So they saw her in May of 2024, see her multiple times per year, and we're on a week-long vacation in 2022 to visit her, and we'll see her this upcoming holiday, is what my client indicated.
How does Matt know my sister's schedule?
You just told me she's coming into town.
She for Thanksgiving.
Okay, but he does, but the kids know when they see her.
But they won't get to see her Thanksgiving. I don't have them that weekend. And my Wednesday is cut short. She's
When is
not
she coming in?
Tuesday. And then the Wednesday, I only have the boys. Or no, I don't have them that Wednesday because it's Matt's Thanksgiving. So they won't have an opportunity for us to go together to see her. I even offered to Matt, can we swap can I have this Thanksgiving and then you have the next
no,
two?
and he doesn't have to swap and that kind of stuff, and I'm not gonna
Right.
make him swap.
She's not coming for Christmas.
My client's fine if she takes them during her Christmas time. That is absolutely not an issue. That's not even a dispute. Go ahead.
But I need the extra time because I can't drive the 14 hours and spend 8 hours there and drive 14 hours back. I need the extra time.
How much time does she have at Christmas?
Oh, geez. Hang on a second. I don't have that part of the file.
What is your parenting time over Christmas, ma'am?
It's only Friday, 6 p.m. to Monday, 9 a.m. That's all
over
that
the whole Christmas break?
Yeah, I don't have any additional break time, even though I'm off work. And I can't afford to fly Friday night and then fly back Sunday. It's too expensive. Like I have to drive.
I'm not gonna order any time like that. The parties can work on trying to see if Matt, Ms. Van Tol, if you can work something out. If she's gonna be in over Thanksgiving, and maybe he could send the kids over there for Friday or something like that. Be reasonable and see what happens, okay?
That's fine.
All right. The last thing we gotta deal with then is whether or not I'm going to eliminate that no contact, thing that expires on October 20, or that I look at on October 24.
Yes. So I filed, the rule says plaintiff shall not attend any events or activities.
Read it.
Yes. Well, I did not attend any events or activities for our minor children.
Okay, but it didn't say that if you don't attend any, that you can then automatically have it back. It just says we'll review it.
Right, that's what I'm asking for.
All right,
is-
Ms. Van Tol, your thoughts on that?
Your Honor, I think my client would prefer that she stay out of events and activities only because she continues her alienating behavior. As the court understood at the show cause hearing, she had involved other parents of children that interact with their children, and then their children were getting involved in it. She has been a very disruptive individual, and she causes a lot of conflict pretty much everywhere she goes. So it is more peaceful. It has been peaceful, but there have been very little there's been very few opportunities for Miss to attend activities over this, 3-month period because we were in the summertime. We are going to ask that it remain in place until Miss can stop continuously alienating and sending texts to Jude from OFW, screenshots of OFW messages, because my client disciplined him for being very disrespectful. And the reason he's disrespectful is because Miss thinks he should be. He should have a voice. He needs to push back. So then he loses his cell phone, and then he gets really upset. And then Miss said, "Well, I'm so sorry, Jude. You must be," I'm going to quote it because this is amazing. She says in here, "Being punished for undermining dad's authority over you, like that's a normal thing." That is sarcastic. It is normal. You should teach your children to respect authority so that they don't become juvenile delinquents or criminals. Obviously, she doesn't care because all she wants to do is be a friend. That is not appropriate, and it's alienating, and that is a problem. And again, I don't find her attending events is in the best interest of the children or good for this co-parenting relationship or lack thereof.
All right.
So, sorry, may I? I do agree that text, it's a little bit out of context because the consequence for Jude's behavior does not match. Jude is being treated like a delinquent, but he's not. His escalated behaviors do not, what is the word? The consequence for what is going on does not match the behavior. It's extreme.
What should the consequences be?
Trying to understand, like, why is Jude acting out instead of just reacting and taking things away, or taking things away from Jude, but not telling him that things have been taken away. Like this weekend, Jude was driving without his permit. He didn't know that Matt took it as a consequence. And I didn't know that was taken away from him as a consequence.
Your Honor, these again are not true statements. Jude was very well aware of his consequence, and ultimately
I'm sure he was well aware of it.
this issue is mom undermining constantly. Even listening to her right now, she's undermining. This is what she's doing to the kids all the time. It's not good.
I'm sorry.
This is
It's not
issues.
undermining. It's a conversation about consequences and behaviors. If Jude was a delinquent, yes, remove the bathroom from him, like change his bedroom.
You want to
Yes.
wait until he
It's not
becomes a
real.
delinquent? Is that what you're saying? Once he becomes a delinquent, then do some things. That's
Again,
what you're saying. That's what you just told me.
That is not what I just told you,
Yes,
sir.
you did.
Sorry.
You said, once he becomes a delinquent, then those are appropriate.
Yes, it's not appropriate. There's steps. It's a mutual respect that they should have with each other in conversations. Jude should feel safe enough to have conversations with Matt instead of just things being taken away. It's okay. That's fine. Anyway,
Yeah.
if if Matt is telling me one thing and telling Jude another, it's very confusing. If Jude will say, like, for example, going to see my sister, he tells the children, yes, I will work it out, but then tells me, no.
He's trying to work it out, but that doesn't mean it works out on your terms.
No, I'm saying nothing has been tried to have it worked out.
He worked out the thing of the Wednesday with you, but you made it sound like, oh my God, he's, destroying the kids by this. He worked out that you picked them up early when I don't know that you were entitled to, but you got him. All right. He worked that out.
Okay. All
There were
right.
no consequences to you. There was nothing that bad happened.
Not to me, it's about the kids. But
Yeah.
moving on. Can we just?
All right.
I have
Any
to go
last thing anybody wants to say?
The provision says activities. I did not attend any activities or events. I have very limited contact with people in the boy's life.
I don't think you're
have
appropriate to be around those because of what Miss Van Tol said. You are disruptive when you're around there. You are picking, maybe it's not the right words, but fights so that the kids are being told one thing, not the other. Mr. Is the primary parent. He's shown himself to the court. At least I don't see that he's lied to the court. And put forth things that are just out of reason. I'm going to maintain that same thing through the rest of the school year. That means through till like June. If you want to come back after that, we'll take a look at it.
Can you put a date on that, please?
Yeah,
The school year. I don't know when the school year ends.
Okay.
I will put the date in.
Yes, Miss Van Tol put the date in. I don't know if they end June 6th or May 31st or June 14th. I don't know.
Okay.
It'll maintain through the school year, and if you want to take a look at it, we'll see what happens. I've denied the motion regarding the time to Connecticut. I have asked Miss Van Tol to see if there's a way that the kids can see the aunt while she's in town. I know he's got Thanksgiving and that kind of stuff, but I know that he gave in on the Wednesday thing. There's no reason that he can't do something, but I'm not ordering it. Anything else we need to deal with?
I just want to make sure I understand. So the school year, so not removing the provision, has nothing to do with me following what it said to do, but it just has to do with the motion that I filed and the information that I turned in.
I don't know what you're saying. You
So
asked that it be reviewed. I reviewed it, and I don't think it's appropriate to take it off for the reasons that I've said throughout this hearing.
Got it.
Anything else I need to deal with? I'm not giving you extra time for the Connecticut trip. Anything else, Miss, that I need to deal with?
No, sir.
Your Honor, I did ask for attorney fees in my response.
Well, but see, here's the problem, all right? The judge gave her the opportunity to file this, okay? To ask for it.
Filled with lies, and that's the problem, again.
But he said that I should review it. I can't really charge her because then she asks to have it reviewed on the day he said to have it reviewed. You do understand that?
I do. It's just the other things, the lies that are included, the excess of stuff that was irrelevant and untrue that I have to respond to.
I think you said that you're filing a motion or something coming up.
I'm gonna have to file another show cause, yes. I don't think she gets it still, basically.
I can reserve costs for this, but you understand that I'm not. It's unlikely that I'm going to charge her for this motion for the reason that her motion asking for time for her to see the kids to see the aunt is not an unreasonable motion. number one. Number two, the judge said it can be reviewed on October 24, and she filed for that. So quite
Thank you.
frankly,
It's the other things that take time to respond to, and I have to.
I
do
understand, I
investigation.
understand. And so you will draft the order that will. I'm
Yeah.
not-
Yes, I will draft the order.
You'll
I
draft
will.
the order that denies her request and puts it in until the end of the school year, with the
Right.
date.
And then the pickup, that'll all be.
Dismissal
Yep.
is the time for
Mhm.
pickup.
Yep.
Otherwise, if it's, are you including in there if it's dismissal, or if there's no school, what is the time?
I'm putting in there 2:30 because that was what the end day and the end time was for the other kids.
So if there is no school,
Yes, the 2:30 timeline.
ma'am, it's 2:30 if there is no school. All right, otherwise it's dismissal. And, I think that's basically it.
Yep,
Thank
I
you.
got it. And then she's gonna provide notification if she's not the one picking up, but she's going to be the one picking up majority of the time per her.
She's gonna pick up, other than if it is provided in advance, not, not like 3 minutes beforehand. Oh, by the way, so-and-so is gonna pick up. Maybe.
You wanna say 24 hours, Your Honor?
Uh,
I mean, I don't wanna be picky about it, but I don't want games either.
Really, I would like the kids to be able to know before they go to school that day. So she could notify you in the morning, I suppose, right? That somebody else is gonna have to pick up. I just want the kids to know before they go to school who's gonna be picking them up,
Okay,
all right?
sounds
And I
good.
think- And I think that ends everything, correct? Anything else, Miss, that you want me to address?
No, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Miss Van Tol. Anything else you want me to address?
No, thank you.
Thank you all very much. We're adjourned.